This is the Retirement Solution Podcast with financial advisor John Hicks, founder of J. Hagan Capital.
Thanks for joining us here on the Retirement Solution with financial advisor John Hicks, here to help you have better understanding about your opportunities for your money when it comes to that nest egg that is so precious to you. Working to now make it work for you in your retirement years is the goal of John and his entire team at J. Hagan Capital. So let's get started helping you again understand those opportunities. RetirementSolutionShow.com is where you can do it. We also have links posted in the show notes. Or again, it's RetirementSolutionShow.com. So the name Bernie Marcus, I was saying to you before we started on the air. I said Bernie.
I'm just glad you didn't say Bernie Madoff. That's good. Starts off.
There's lots of Bernies in this space that we discussed.
Bernie Sanders. Hey.
I said no, not that Bernie.
Let's make America mediocre again. Oh, my bad. I forgot. iHeart didn't like it when I did Bernie Sanders. People thought that was the real guy. It's not the real guy,
it's too good of an impression.
Come on.
He's not the one we're talking about today either.
No.
Want to talk about the name?
Bernie Marcus. Founder of Home Depot.
One of the, so was there three of them?
Was that founded out of Atlanta? Mm-hmm. Was that founded out of Georgia?
Bernie Marcus and Arthur Blank. Was there a third?
Arthur Blank.
Was there a third though?
There may have been, because Arthur Blank still owns the Falcons, or did own the Falcons.
He owns the Falcons, and then he owns another, one of the big soccer teams, at the MLS soccer league in the country.
Yeah.
So whether or not you're super familiar with Bernie Marcus, you're definitely familiar with your Saturday afternoons at the Home Depot.
Absolutely.
We have all spent way too many days and weekends standing in an aisle of trying to pretend like we know what we're doing, just hoping that some nice person in the orange apron approaches us and saves us from ourselves in the aisle that we're standing in.
Absolutely. Is this the right call? Because sir, that is silly putty. Oh, wow.
Sure.
My phone told me the aisle 17. I didn't know that. No. My bad.
What would we do without what would we do with our weekends without the Home Depot? One asks.
Enjoy them. We would actually enjoy them if I didn't have all those honey-do lists.
Honey-do lists would be a lot shorter because we wouldn't have as many opportunities. I don't even know where to go buy all this stuff.
My wife now knows. Honey-do really means honey call somebody.
Uh-huh.
And so the response is, just go ahead, honey. You don't even need to tell me. Just go ahead and give them a ring and see what they say. Chances are you just cut out the middleman. I am no good in that situation.
I appreciate a person who knows their strengths and weaknesses. What were we talking about? An ice maker or something that you were going to you're like, I'm going to fix it myself. And it ended up costing you more.
Without question.
Than you would have had you just call the repair person in the first place.
It would have. It ended up costing me more than if I just bought a new one in the first place. That's how much I messed stuff up. I ended up getting water shot all between the drywall. They ended up causing a la 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 la.
They
had to open all that crap up, and it was just.
And that was the moment that Tennille started saying, "Just call people. Please don't try to fix it yourself. Please don't go to the Home Depot
anyway." Yeah. The only time we go to Home Depot, she's like, "Come help me pick out some paint colors."
Right. I was about to say.
What did the architects say? Let's just start there. And then just give me the two to decide between.
Right.
And make sure you just
narrow
go ahead and put the one that you want right in front of my face first.
Yep.
And then we're good.
Yep.
It's all fine. Happy wife.
Happy life.
Happy wife.
Mm-hmm.
See what I did there?
I did.
Yes. Okay.
Thinking about Bernie Marcus, though, because...
Yes.
Unfortunately, he did recently just pass. I guess it depends on how you look at it. He was 95 years old.
95. That is a long life.
Very long, healthy, happy, productive life. He passed away with a net worth of over $10 billion.
That's a few bucks.
However, he in his retirement years, if somebody who's worth $10 billion ever really retires, he was known as being one of the nation's biggest philanthropists. And it was just a few years back, he was actually talking to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, a newspaper in Atlanta, and this is what he said.
Hey, listen, I don't need anything else. I got all the houses I need. I live very well. My kids are taken care of. Everything I live for now is finding the right things to put my money into that could give me a rate of return in emotion and doing good for this world. That's about it.
Giving me a rate of return in emotion, I think is
awesome.
Such a great way to describe what so many people are seeking when they get to a certain place of life, B, a certain level of success. Not just
without question
emotion. I mean, there's so many different ways to have that rate of return on emotion with your family, with charitable things, with so many different ways to look at it. So, and you and I have had lots of conversations about the importance of legacy and estate planning at J. Hagan Capital. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about, thinking about how you create these things, creating plans for loved ones and charitable causes people are passionate about.
Yeah, so I think one of the things I've said for a long time, and I learned this, there have been many people over the years, many clients, many people that I've run into, people in my industry, frankly, that I learned from, kind of like mentors. Like, John, here's the thing. It doesn't do you necessarily any good if you're you have a tombstone and it says you had $1 million or you had $4 million. It really doesn't make any difference. The question is, what did you do while you were still above ground? What did you do when you weren't 6 feet under? That's what makes a difference. So do your giving while you're living. And I just remember thinking about that in so many different ways. And so, when we're typically in my office, when we're talking about retirement, it's kind of like, okay, first of all I have to do is figure out what you want it to look like. Do you want to keep basically the exact same financial means that you've had while you've been working? For a lot of people that have done a good job saving, they've saved $750 million, $2, $3, $4 million bucks. They can live probably exactly the way that they were living when they were working without having to work at all. So that part is really not that complicated. And this is probably one of the bigger things that I think about all the time. People say, John, I got $7 million bucks, dude. I got $4 million. I got $3 million. I got $1.5 million bucks. I got more than enough money. Or, hey, I've got $1 million bucks, but I can live off Social Security. They feel that they're fine. And I completely agree with that. And there's truth to that. You may not need a financial advisor. The amazing thing, though, is that what happens when you can actually be efficient with the usage of those dollars?
Right.
What if not only could you live the way you wanted, but you could pass on, not when you're gone 30 years from now, what if you could pass on and send every single one of your kids or grandkids to college? The ones that they get into, not just the ones at the state schools that you feel like maybe it'd be affordable. What if you could do that? I have one client that actually did that this past year. He had 2 kids that got into Duke. Boo. I had to say that. It's a great school, unbelievably expensive, but come on. Anyway, it doesn't matter if you're a UK or a U of L fan. Duke, it is what it is. But he had 2 grandkids that he put through Duke. One of them that is going to Harvard Law School, did not get a single dollar to go, and another one that's actually going to do med school at Emory in Atlanta. And these unbelievably smart kids, because they had unbelievably smart parents, because he's the grandfather. And here's what he said. He goes, I felt so good that even though I lived the way I did, I was able, if they needed it, if they didn't need it, it's fine, to write a check for every one of them for them to go to those schools. Now, are they going to have $30 million when I'm gone? No. But I'm doing my giving while I'm living, where I feel like it'll make the biggest difference for not only his immediate family, but for the entire lineage of his family. And I thought to myself, that is unbelievable. And you'd be surprised. It did not cost nearly as much money as you think. It just took careful planning. And it actually took a lot of understanding on the things that he still could do and the things that he wouldn't be giving up from, but he's not going to see all those dollars accumulating in account. Because guys, if you think about it, that's pretty worthless. Instead of just having all that extra accumulation, if you had the exact same amount, but you helped out 50 families in need, just your own family in need, you did the things that you wanted to do. Or let's just be self-serving for a minute. You just decided that you wanted to take all the kids and grandkids on Disney cruises every year for the holidays because you enjoy it, because it's fun for you. Or you want to rent a lake house in a gorgeous part of the country, not just around the corner, for 3 whole months, because you don't know when each of your kids and grandkids can get out of school, get off of work, take the time. So you're there. So whenever they come to visit you, you have that opportunity to share that with them. Now, you don't want to buy the place because you don't want the maintenance, the upkeep, the property taxes, the headache, the hassle. But those are things that I think are very unique, and those are the things that we want to encourage people to think about. There was a couple that just came in, and he had been a physician for his entire life. And he had done very, very, very well. And we had this conversation. I'm like, listen, guys, there's no question that you're going to have a great retirement. I mean, that part's fine. What are the dreams? What are the thoughts? When you first got married, what are the things? I was like, you're not going to know these today, but we'll get back together at the very beginning of the year, and I really want you to have some thought about this. What are the things that you promised each other in the very beginning? Did you do them? Because now you're going to get the opportunity. He's starting to wind it down. They have ample amounts of money. They have the house they want. Their kids are completely set. They're all very successful. And it's kind of like, what are the things that you want to do? And here's the amazing thing is that I would like to maybe do Doctors Without Borders. I would like maybe to do those type, maybe, fix some cleft, palates and things like that. But I know that it's going to not just be for a week. It'd be for a period of time. I'm like, and his wife was just like, that's a great idea. I'd love to do that. We could see parts of the country, the world that we've never seen before. Yeah. And that started to stimulate that. And I was like, hey, you don't have to tell me anything today, but go back, go have lunch after this. Go talk about that. Think about some of those things, because you can create a legacy. And not only that, you can maybe create true philanthropy or true charitable giving. And you don't have to just give money, guys. You can give time, your skill set. I can't tell you how many unbelievable craftsmen there are out there in just in the regional area, whether plumbing or HVAC, or do you know how many people need those services? So, I know that, it's one thing you can go out there and hang out a shingle and make some more money, but sometimes just people in your own church just really, they got a gutter issue, right?
And they can't afford to pay somebody.
Issue, and that they really can't afford it. Those are things that I want people to think about. We can be productive members of the society without having to make money.
Right.
The question is, how do we want to do it? Right. So it's very interesting, because I saw that Bernie Marcus was going to give away 90% of his money. So if he's worth $10 billion, he basically said, I'm going to give away $9 billion. Yeah. Because my kids are fine. Because like you said, I've got all the other stuff. Yeah. Like they're going to have $1 billion, amongst them. Yeah. He said, but I'm going to give it away. And here's an interesting thing I saw about it. The charities he's giving it to, they're not allowed to just put it in a foundation and let it grow through the roof. They have to basically spend it all in the next 20 years. Mm-hmm. I love that, because that means that he's not just turning $9 billion into $40 billion and then the interest off that pays. He's not doing that. He said, no,
wants it to go to purpose. He wants it to go to work. Yeah.
Love that, because I'm going to start using those concepts in my own office for my own clients, because it's so important. Yeah. Where can you make an impact today that you wish was there when you were young, or you look around and you see the issue today? Look at some of those things. I think it's great. So when anyone is charitably inclined, it's wonderful. Yeah. But believe it, you do not have to be charitably inclined to have a servant's heart and to want to give back. Those are the things that you want to be thinking. It's not just money to grow. It's money to use productively for whatever those purposes you want to use it for. Think about that today, and think about if your current plan accommodates for that. If it doesn't, maybe give us a call and then get a second opinion.
Putting your money to work for you, for your family, for other people in your community, within charities and churches that you know and love and participating in. This is how you can take that money that you work so hard to earn and save and make it continue to work for you, as I was saying, for you and so many people in so many different ways through the proper planning process, which is what John and his team are here to help you figure out. So get to our website, retirementsolutionshow.com. That's where you can begin the conversation, figuring out your own legacy plans, doing your giving while you're living. It's not even after you've left the planet. It's such an important conversation to have. We also have links posted in the show notes, or again, it's retirementsolutionshow.com.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Solution Podcast with John Hicks. Begin the conversation about your savings plan with John and the team at J. Hagan Capital by visiting retirementsolutionradio.com. Be sure to listen to John's radio show, The Retirement Solution, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. on News Radio 840 WHAS.
J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is licensed in your state, please call 502-690-5635. J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through J. Hagan Capital, LLC, NPN number 1882794.